Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nkonye and I'm also known as NdiNaija. Ja, ja, ja. My people, today we are cooking because it's Sunday and people need to eat. People need to eat. We're making a curry this evening. Behold the ingredients. These, these. It's just a whole bunch of stuff. I will put the recipe and directions down below. Now, if you've looked at this, or if you see this, oh, I forgot, it'll be opposite. Anywho, given who I am and my propensity for editing, I've edited this recipe and I've edited it here in my brain. You guys will watch this come to life because, yeah, I'm not very good with following recipes, but I do like to eat. I do like to experiment with food and I love taste and flavor. So some of the things that are on here are not in the, over there in the recipe list and in the recipe list or ingredient list, but we are going to use them. The novel items are Cameroon pepper for one, and let's see, garlic sriracha is not there. I'm using both coconut cream and coconut milk. I'm trying to use what I have on hand. I don't have any chicken that's thawed, so I will be using boiled eggs, which I have peeled. And this is a veggie curry and not a chicken curry like in the recipe. So I have broccoli florets, broccoli Normandy, and then I will be adding mushrooms and a zucchini. Now I have the choice to also add a sweet potato, but what I want to make, I essentially want to make a very thick sauce. And it's a thick sauce that I want to be able to use on rice or anything else. You can use naan with it. I have plantain. I could put plantain and sweet potato in it, but that would make it close to what I would call a porridge, or what Nigerians would call a porridge. But I want to make a curry. It'll be a thick curry, and yeah, let's begin. Let's begin. All right. We have coconut oil. Yes, is this coconut oil? It is coconut oil. We have some coconut oil. I put about 2 tablespoons in here. I was already starting to cook and then I said, oh, let me stop myself, catch myself and see what I can show you. So let me turn the camera around and follow the proper way you're supposed to do things. I've already washed my hands because you're supposed to wash your hands before you start any of this stuff. I usually wash my hands before I go into the fridge anyway. So I'm going to chop this up, and that's already starting. I'll also chop up the onions and then I'll show you what happens from there. So while I was washing my hands, I decided that I might as well wash the dish or the pot that was in the sink, which is the pot that I used to boil the eggs. Give me a clear sink, even though I didn't really need it. So after rinsing my hands, it's time to slice up the zucchini. I slice up the zucchini, put it into that bowl, toss aside the top and the bottom, and then I get my red onion and slice that up too. I prefer to use red onion to white onion because it's more flavorful and aromatic when you use it in your sauce. And then I'll show you the garlic and ginger paste right away. Okay, so the oil is hot. I have about 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, and now I'm going to add in the onions that I just chopped and some garlic and ginger. Now I do have fresh garlic and fresh ginger, but I like to keep these squeezable pastes in the fridge. You know, they keep pretty well. My fresh ginger and garlic that I like to have along with habanero peppers, I like to freeze them after they are blended. So I think one of my next cook with me videos would be how I prepare my base, or a base for a lot of my dishes, with blended onions, habanero pepper, ginger, and garlic. So essentially, right now I'm just making the aromatics. And personally, I don't eat onions like this, but these will be very useful in flavoring my dish, which is why I'm using it. So after this is all done, I will take it out and maybe even blend it and put it back into the curry later. Yeah, that garlic is flying all over the place. Okay, so while the onions and garlic are marinating and doing their thing, we are supposed to, okay, that's done. I'm supposed to add everything with oil, coat, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm supposed to add in the curry powder, red curry paste, and coriander. I think I'm out of coriander. But I'm going to add the curry paste, which is right here, and I'm making it a green curry. I might add just a smidge of this garlic sriracha, but I will put the coconut aminos, the fish sauce, bay leaf, and cilantro, along with these other spices, which are my basics, and then continue with the recipe. So let me put this camera down and move on. Yep. And after that, we're going to put in, for me, I'm going to put in the coconut cream and half of the coconut milk. And when it's all said and done, I'll put the eggs in. So after taking out the onion and a little bit of the garlic, I try to concentrate on taking out the onions. I add about 2 to 3 heaped tablespoons of curry, and then 2.5 teaspoons of curry paste. The reason I use teaspoons for the curry paste is because the curry paste container is small and you can't really add much into it. I just flashed you there the coconut aminos, which I also added, and I'm trying to toast this. That's some Cameroon black pepper. We're using 2 types of pepper in this dish, Cayenne Pepper, which I also just showed you, and the Cameroonian black pepper. Now, you don't have to use 2 different types of peppers. You don't even have to use Cayenne Pepper. I like it because I like my things spicy. So for some reason, I forgot that I had coriander, and when I was just looking through the ingredients again, I said, what? I do have coriander. So you're supposed to add the coriander at this stage of the cooking before you add the coconut milk and everything. Now, because I'm doing a veggie curry as opposed to a chicken curry, I'm going to add my coconut milk and vegetables all at the same time. You put the 2 tablespoons of coconut oil into your pan, and then put your curry and the first set of spices that this calls for. Now I added my Cameroon pepper. I lost a little bit right there. Ooh, curry is precious. Now I added a little bit of Cameroon pepper and my cayenne pepper because I'm a spicy gal, like a bit of spices. This has cooked on low for a little bit. Now it's time to start adding the curries. Ooh, nice and creamy. Nice and creamy. Okay. Now, me adding coconut cream is already a deviation from the recipe, in addition to some of my other ingredients. The person who wrote this recipe, wanted to make it a real proper sauce. I am just using this as an embellishment for vegetables and something that I could eat either on its own or eat with rice. Rice, yam, sweet potatoes, plantain, naan. Ooh, this with garlic naan would be really, really good. Would be really, really good. Rinse that out, put for recycling. And then half of the coconut milk, which you need to shake very well before you put it in. Okay, I raised the heat back to medium heat. I thought I had shaken this properly, but apparently it did not. So I'm going to put half of you in there, stirring it just to make sure that some cream is left when I've used just half of it. Well, because I'm using just half of it, so that some of the cream remains in. Okay, that's about half. I need to turn that into a separate bowl and put it somewhere else. And now is where the magic happens. I'm going to let this cook for a while before I add the vegetables. Now, if you were using something like sweet potatoes, now would be a good time to add it, because sweet potato is a very hearty vegetable. If you had sweet potatoes, if you had kale, if you had chard, and you were putting those in, this would be a good time. Raise my fire a little bit. This is the onions and a little bit of garlic. That's going to be blended later and added when this is all said and done. So I'm going to let this simmer. I will taste it slightly though, just to see what is in here and what else I need to add. This is also a good time to add my bay leaf, because this is going to simmer for a while. Now, bay leaf is a very nice aromatic flavored leaf, but it's not something you eat. So while you put it in your food, when you're eating it, you can just take it out. Okay, so now that everything is nice and simmering, I'm going to add the rest of the spices. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. Now, if I was cooking this for my mom or my parents, I wouldn't be adding any salt. Added some salt. I've tasted this before, so I know a little bit of what more I need to add. Adding some more cayenne pepper, because I like it spicy. And now I'm adding my Old Bay. Just generously toss in some Old Bay. I've added coconut aminos previously, so I don't want to add any more. And then about 2 teaspoons of fish sauce, which is about that. We will also add a little bit of lime juice just to squirt up a little bit of the tartness of it. A little bit more chicken bouillon. Look at that. Just a smidge more chicken bouillon. So to make this vegan, skip the chicken bouillon, skip the fish sauce, and then that should be it. Because I don't believe that, the Old Bay seasoning doesn't have any meats in it, even though you can use it for meats. Okay, so I've added that. Now would be the time to add in my cilantro. And I think I'll add a little bit more fish sauce. And then add the vegetables. This will be cooked through very quickly because we're using vegetables and not chicken. Okay, that's enough. We'll taste it, or stir it rather. And I'm going to go around the pot, or around the pan, like so. And if you want to, now would be a good time also to add another tablespoon of coconut oil. I don't want to make it too oily. Naturally need to reduce the fire a smidge. And then let's see what goes. By the time you add the vegetables, you should expect that this will become a little more liquidy, because vegetables tend to come with their own water and give off their water into the sauce. I'm going to keep doing this and then add the vegetables. I won't be able to hold my phone to film this, so I'm going to put it down and hopefully you guys see what I'm doing while I'm doing that. Zucchini and mushrooms. Broccoli Normandy. And then broccoli florets. I was a tad not careful. All right, time to stir and let this simmer for a while. I'm going to cover this up. Oh no, first, before I cover this up, I have to add the eggs. I'll add the eggs and cover it up, and in a few minutes, this will be done. I'm going to stir it until everything is coated, until all the vegetables are coated with the sauce. Man, that looks good. Hope you guys can see it. So this is simmering. I need to give it a few more minutes for the zucchini to cook through. I think I'm going to raise the heat. That's a little too high. Put it down to sort of a medium high and let the temperature increase while it comes to. I'm blending the onions, which I will then add to this, and then the meal will be cooked. Everything's done. All right, so the onions is blended. Everything is simmered through. And now that the zucchini is changed color slightly to become slightly translucent, it's time to turn things off. Well, add the onions, stir this, and then turn it off. Now I'm making this as a sort of semi-vegan dish. You could call this damn near vegan. I crack myself up for no reason. So that's the onion that we initially added. It has some leftovers of some garlic. I had to put in a little bit of coconut milk to sort of ensure that this could stir properly. Sorry, I'm doing this with one hand, so this is a little difficult. And stirring, and stirring, and stirring, and stirring. And after this, I'm going to cover the pot for one more minute and bring it to boil again, and then turn it off, and the dish is done. Next, you will see me dish this onto a plate, or next you would see me plate this. As you can see, the vegetables have released their liquids, and this is not so thick of a dish, or not so thick of a curry anymore. Oh, I can't wait to dig in. Can't wait. And this is the completed dish with some naan. There's the curry. Giving you guys a close-up shot. So here you go. Yum. Enjoy. So that's it for my veggie curry. A smidge of meat. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this cook with me. And as you can see, this is a very simple item to make. Most of the ingredients you already have on hand. So, thanks for joining me. Bye-bye. Mm-hmm.